Hello, and welcome to this demonstration of NX LiveShare. NX LiveShare is a brand new collaboration tool that allows designers and engineers in disparate locations to work together on the same parts or assemblies. If you remember from our last demonstration, we fixed one of the deflection problems, but now we need to work on the stress concentration. I've started a LiveShare. I have the light background, and then also Justin has joined me as an expert in stress concentrations with the dark background. What we're going to do now is we're both going to work on the same part at the same time. So let's go ahead now and see the value of being able to collaborate together in designs. If we remember, our stress concentration was down in this valley area where Justin will do some of his work. In addition, while we were gone, we also have a request to add some more stiffening. I will add that second rib and to adjust the mounting distance between these two mounting pegs. So before we both start working together in the same part, let's kind of see how the mechanisms of LiveShare work. What we're going to do now is Justin's going to go ahead and add some thickness into the area to help us reduce that stress concentration. Once he applies the command, that modeling command will then be pushed over to me as we can see the changes are going there. I see the change. I'm going to go ahead and start my work by adding in a second rib. But you will also notice that Justin is also adding a face blend. The one thing that will happen is that the commands will process in the order in which they were said completed. For instance here, I'm still working in the middle of my rib. Even though Justin is done adding the blend, I will not see the blend until I'm done adding in my new rib. So once I go ahead, pull that new rib over and add it in, I then get the processes back to see that the blend was added. That was the change I got. I need to go ahead and just unite in my new rib to my body. As we can see, well, Justin is making his changes over on the other side. In addition, people ask, this does work in the context of parts and assemblies, but the thing is, who owns all these changes? Today, whoever started the LiveShare session owns the checkout on all the parts that are being changed and will then have to decide what gets saved and what does not get saved. For instance, Justin made his change to go ahead and change the mounting distance, and while he did that, my ribs were pushed over to him, and then his mounting changes came over to me. As we look at the bottom of the feature tree, it's a normal parametric feature tree with the features added in the order in which they were applied across all the sessions. Now that we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you some of the things we talked about during the session. The first one is, how do the parts get saved and who really owns them? In this example, when we see this one part here with all the changes in it, if we go look at our assembly navigator, who owns the checkout? It's me, because I started the LiveShare. So I now have the sole decision to decide what gets saved and what doesn't get saved into these designs. One last thing to do before we continue on with the presentation today is we need to go ahead now and validate that that change we were talking about in the context of that stress concentration was removed. So I'm going to go ahead and the LiveShare meeting, and I'm going to start back up Performance Predictor where we ended off the last demonstration. And what you'll notice is we have a stress of about 160 megapascals. What I'm going to do now is, because I had delay updates turned on, I'm going to go ahead and resolve the performance predictor in this case and see if that stress was reduced. And we noticed here now that that stress was reduced down to 114, 113 megapascals, so we accomplished our goal. So what value do we see here? We saw that designers can now work collaboratively on the same part in the same design at the same time, eliminating the need for traditional design reviews where there's one person driving the CAD and everyone telling them what to do. This is going to be a great benefit to companies to quickly be able to evaluate new designs and see how things go moving forward. Thank you for your time.